Welcome to Cortburg Speaks Retirement, an audio podcast about investing in the stock market, financial planning, money management, and retirement planning. Each Wednesday, we help investors at all stages of life learn how to potentially grow and preserve their money from first job through retirement. Now here's your host, Miguel Gonzalez.
Good morning and welcome to the Cortburg Speaks Retirement audio podcast. It is never too soon to start planning and saving for retirement. If you plan to retire what Social Security calls your normal retirement age, which is 66 or 67 for most people, you could have several decades to save. But if you want to retire at 40, you have to save far more aggressively. That does not mean you cannot do it. But here are some ideas. Number one, envision your ideal retirement. Retirement means something different to just about everyone. If you plan to retire by 40, you need to think about how you're going to spend the next 4 decades or so after that, assuming you have relatively normal life expectancy. For instance, do you plan to travel for part of the year or become a full-time nomad? How will your day-to-day spending habits change? Will any of your expenses go up or down? Will you still work part-time? Do you have plans to launch a business? Do you want to volunteer or start your own nonprofit? When you have thought it through and come up with a ballpark budget for how much money you expect to spend in retirement, you can dig into the other side of the equation, which is how much will you need to save to make it happen? The 2024 Retirement Confidence Survey from the Employee Benefit Research Institute found that 1 in 3 Americans think that they will need at least $1.5 million to enjoy a comfortable retirement. Unfortunately, the average retirement savings across all Americans was $89,300 in 2023 last year. Again, average retirement savings across all Americans was $89,300, and that was from Northwest Mutual Planning and Progress Study 2023 in their work and retirement section. Number 2, set a savings goal. Nailing down a savings goal is difficult enough under normal circumstances, but it's considerably more so if you want to retire early. One rule of thumb recommends multiplying your desired annual income in retirement by 25 to come up with your savings goal. So if you want to have $50,000 a year for 25 years, you will need $1.25 million. But that assumes that you retire at a relatively conventional age. If you're looking at an extra 20 years in retirement, you will need more like $2.25 million instead. Of course, you may be able to set the numbers a little lower if you have money coming in from a side hustle or a business during retirement. Also, take a second look at your budget to see if you can get by with less income each year. That's one reason some people retire abroad. But be sure you factor in Social Security payments for when you reach your 60s. You will need to have paid into the system for at least 40 quarters or 10 years to qualify. Number 3, estimate your savings growth. When you have an idea of your long-term goal, look at how much you already have saved and how long you have until you turn 40. That gives you a framework for how much you will need to save each year and each month to get there. Let's say you're 25 years old. You're making $50,000 a year and you're beginning to save and want to accumulate $1 million. If you save half of your income each month, which is about $2,083, you could have about $660,000 when you retire 40. That could translate into $1,222 a month in income over 45 years of retirement. But keep in mind that this is an overly simplified example. It assumes a 7% annualized return for the 15 years before you retire, and then equal monthly withdrawals for the next 45 years. The $1,222 a month could be hard to live off unless you're willing to cut back on your lifestyle significantly. Of course, when you hit age 62, you may be eligible to start collecting Social Security benefits, but bear in mind that they will be substantially and permanently lower at age 65 than if you would wait until later in your 60s, up to age 70 when benefits top out. And if you have that side hustle or business in retirement, that income will help too. Number 4, consider ways to save more. Retiring on $1,222 a month might work if you have other sources of income, but you'll probably need to aim higher if you want to have enough money to live on when you retire. If you need to save more, you've got 2 basic options. One is trim your expenses as much as possible, getting a roommate or 2, selling your car, using public transportation, or canceling your cable TV can reduce your outflow. And 2, work on increasing your income and investing the extra money. You can increase your hours at work or take on a part-time job to add to your cash flow. Max out your 401k if you can, and if you have any money left over, consider a Roth IRA. And number 5, choose the right savings vehicles. If you're saving over a shorter time frame, you need to be specifically strategic about where you put your money. Your employer's retirement plan, such as a 401k, is an obvious choice, especially if your company gives you a matching contribution. Let's say you make that $50,000 a year and you start saving at age 25. If you manage to put $23,000 of your income, which is the 2024 maximum, last year was $22,500 for 2023, into your 401k, you and your employer matches 50% of the first 6% of your contributions. By age 40, you will have over $600,000, assuming a 7% annual rate of return. However, this money will have to wait until later in your retirement, as you cannot withdraw it until you reach age 59 and a half, or you will face penalties from the IRS. However, it will grow even more during the nearly 20 extra years. If saving that much of your income seems impossibly erroneous, note that this calculation does not account for any raises you might receive between ages 25 and 40. If your salary does rise, a $23,000 contribution will be less of a burden. The more than $600,000 is still a long way from the $1 million goal, and bear in mind that you will owe income taxes on your withdrawals from the traditional 401k account. But if you have any spare income left, you can make up some of the difference by contributing to a Roth IRA. Using the 2024 annual contribution limit of $7,000 for anyone under 50 and it was $6,500 in 2023, you could add more than $175,000 to your retirement nest egg, assuming a 7% annual return. In the case of a Roth IRA, your withdrawals will generally be tax-free if you're over the age of 59 and a half. Finally, you will have to save some of your money in regular taxable non-retirement accounts if you wish to retire at age 40. This is because retirement accounts such as 401ks and IRAs, both Roth and traditional, require you to be at least age 59 and a half to begin making withdrawals. Otherwise, you will face significant penalties. So, what's the best way to save for retirement? You will be one step ahead if you can find ways to save for retirement automatically. For instance, if your employer offers a 401k plan, you can set aside a portion of your salary for retirement. It's even better if your employer offers a match, because it's like getting free money that also grows in your retirement account. So look for other ways to save like this. Some financial institutions offer automatic savings between accounts. Each time you use your debit card, it sweeps a certain amount from your checking to your savings account. You can use this money to then deposit into a retirement account. When should I start saving for retirement? I get this question all the time. Again, when should I start saving for retirement? It's always a good idea to start saving when you're young. Depending on your circumstances, you may be able to save a lot more of your income for retirement. This gives your money time to grow, especially when you consider compounding, which means the interest you earn also earns interest. You also have a higher risk tolerance because you have more time to recover if there are any hiccups in the market. Another question, is it too late to save for retirement at age 40? Again, is it too late to save for retirement at age 40? It is never too late to save for retirement at any age. The only difference is that you do not have time working on your side. So when you start saving at a younger age, you can take advantage of compounding, which again means the interest you earn also earns interest. You also have a higher tolerance for risk. When you're older, you have to be more conservative and make more conservative choices because your window of time is much shorter. Consider speaking with a retirement professional to help guide you in the right direction. So, the bottom line, it is possible to retire at age 40, but you have to be proactive and really good at deferred gratification. So run the numbers and take advantage of every opportunity you have to save and earn. The sooner you start planning, the better your odds of retiring early with the money you'll need to enjoy it. Make sure to also visit our website, www.cortburgretirement.com. Our site is filled with educational videos, ebooks, publications, and financial calculators designed to help you learn more about your finances. As you search our site, send us a note regarding any questions you may have about any particular investment concepts or products, and we will get back to you quickly with a thoughtful answer. This is Miguel Gonzalez, Certified Retirement Counselor and Managing Partner with Cortburg Retirement Advisors, signing off for this week's educational podcast.
The opinions expressed and material provided are for general information and should not be considered a solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security. Opinions expressed are subject to change without notice and are not intended as investment advice or a solicitation for the purchase or sale of any security. Please consult your financial professional before making any investment decision. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Private Advisor Group, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Private Advisor Group, LLC, and Cortburg Retirement Advisors, Inc. are separate entities from LPL Financial. Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal.